Social media was, well, a Twitter this week as word leaked that nude pictures of celebrities like Jennifer Lawrence were floating around the internet, leaked by someone who broke into their iCloud accounts. But once the flurry died down, out broke a debate over who is at fault over the breach in privacy. To click or not to click? That was the question for many curiosity seekers this week as the internet swirled with naked pictures of celebrities, most notably Jennifer Lawrence and Kate Upton.
A major hacking scandal has rocked the entertainment industry.
At first, fingers pointed at Apple, claiming its iCloud system had been breached.
The photos apparently lifted from a cloud-based storage service.
Turns out, though, the hackers accessed the starlets' devices by guessing their personal passwords and security questions. And while thousands of people downloaded the purloined pictures, the media was largely sympathetic.
It's the ultimate violation, and right now a lot of women are worried their accounts could be next.
Tonight we're learning more about how this happened, and we ask here, how safe are your photos?
The Guardian's Van Badham went so far as to say, if you click on Jennifer Lawrence's naked pictures, you're perpetuating her abuse. But much of the Twittersphere was not so kind, blasting off comments like this. A one-step solution, don't store naked pictures of yourself in the cloud. And at least one media critic agrees. WJLA's Gene Wolfe says celebrities have to take more responsibility.
People are now less sympathetic because it's happened too often.
In other words, a little common sense goes a long way. The one thing about this was how much attention it got, because there was a lot of celebrity news over the weekend. A lot of stuff was happening, weddings and all this kind of stuff. And Joan Rivers, of course, had been hospitalized. But this just like took off. And so it drove people to go look for those pictures. I mean, we were all looking for them in some fashion.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
didn't look for them.
Well, I mean, I did, I couldn't find them right away, but well, I was reporting on it, and I was doing this today, too. I wanted to see if they were still up there. But, so we're complicit in a way. On the other hand, I'm one of these people who kind of falls into the category of people who think, well, if you have that stuff stored somewhere, it's vulnerable, which makes you vulnerable, which means you got to be more careful.
Well, you're right. But in fact, I thought a lot of there was an awful lot of commentary along the lines of, Jennifer Lawrence and Kate Upton and all the rest should have known better. And I don't know that that's really the case. And I thought some of that commentary was based, frankly, on a somewhat of a technological misunderstanding. People acted like they had posted it in a private area of Facebook or something. And, of course, we all know that would be absurd. But, they were simply using a backup service. And Apple really is to blame because there were simple things Apple could have done. You take 3 guesses at the password, you don't get it, you're out. Instead, they had set it up in a way that a machine could just try thousands and thousands of times, different things until it finally broke in. So I think Apple is somewhat at fault too. You're right that this is...
I think they do have a 3 strikes and you're out thing, but these guys were working on this for months and months and months. So I don't know how many times they did it,
Well, and you're right, it certainly became the big phenomenon of the week. Somebody on Facebook was saying to me, why are you guys going to talk about that? It isn't news. Well, here we are talking about it, and it seems to me that everybody's talking about it.
There's so many things that are fallout from this story. I think you're doing the right thing to begin to look at all the things that grow out of this story. The stars themselves, I don't think shouldn't be the story. I mean, didn't this happen 2 years ago with Scarlett Johansson?
Yes.
It's like, is it a story that now there's another person whose picture is hacked or whose files are hacked? The story, to me, clearly is the privacy issue. And there need to be proper laws. They need to be written correctly to try and protect people. It could be your Schwab account, at some point.
Exactly.
All of these things are vulnerable as well. And I mean, I think that's what we need to spend time with. Unfortunately, it all gets sidetracked into who's the celebrity and how much décolletage can you show in the picture. It just really
of course it does,
disgraceful.
because if the headline is nude pictures of Jennifer Lawrence and you got a little thumb shot of Jennifer Lawrence, you're going to click
versus
on the
Roy
story,
Harris's
right?
Schwab account. I mean,
Exactly.
I don't understand why everyone split into 2 camps right away on this and started shouting past each other. I mean, it seems to me like you can recognize this was a violation of these women's privacy, And this highlights the fact that we all think of a lot of information as private these days, the pictures we snap on our phones, that really isn't private, and we should all probably be more careful than we are. And there's a need for, serious reform, as Roy was saying.
So stop being so reasonable.
And the other part of that, the other part of that is that when people are determined to sort of crack this, they will just keep working, because the guy that got caught several years ago with Scarlett Johansson said he was just interested at the beginning, and then he thought, oh, I can really do this. Let me keep going and keep going. So there is that as well. And look, the reason that people are excited is because there are celebrities. So that's the bottom line. Nobody's interested in seeing nude, well, maybe. I was trying to think of some other people they might be interested in seeing nude photos of, but who are not celebrities. Yeah. But, but
I guess
it's
one of the things that, I was one of the ones who was putting some of the responsibility, blaming the victim, as they would say, because taking these nude selfies and keeping them or posting them or having them anywhere, it's like, you're asking for it, and especially if you're a celebrity, somebody is coming after you.
That's another feature in this story too, I think, and someone was writing about this, that we're looking at it from the standpoint of people who are over 40 years old, but there are a lot of kids who this is the nature of the game with their cell phone, and those pictures will be out there forever.
But this isn't the equivalent of posting pictures and hoping nobody grabs them.
Exactly.
This is the equivalent of sitting out somebody's house with a laptop, breaking into their Wi-Fi and looking at what's on their computer. And although we theoretically know that can happen, we don't really think about it. And then something like this happens.
And so to put it in older terms, if you took a Polaroid and hid it up under, sheets in your trunk, and somebody broke in and got that. That's the analogy. It's not like people were like, well, I guess I'll just take these pictures and throw them out there.